as a bone bruise and maybe a slight MCL. So something that's really good news. Don't know his availability for this week yet, but he's a tough guy. He's had that thing before, so he knows how to deal with it. Sherman strained his calf before the game. I doubt seriously if he'll be back anytime soon.
Okay. Is that an IR situation, or you don't know yet?
I don't know yet. We'll see what the MRI says today.
Okay. And then I wanted to ask you, last year coming out of the bye, one of the things you talked about is how in the Kansas City game, you like kind of the way that game ended, not the score obviously, but after the bye, you felt like you were more aggressive, right? Like you just went for it. You look at the game yesterday and, Mike Evans wasn't targeted all that much, although he produced a bunch of points, a lot of check downs. Was there a reason why there weren't, I'm sure you called them, but there was a reason why there weren't more downfield throws?
Yeah, most of it was the way they played defense. And everybody's playing us in a very soft two shell and forcing the ball to go underneath and make you run with it. So I think we got to protect our quarterback better early in the game. And maybe we'll take some shots down the field like we normally do when he's protected. But if he's getting hit a bunch early, he ain't hold on to it very long. I don't know when it does.
That first third down, he felt that one right to Tyler, right?
Yeah, and there's no doubt. And we got whipped up front, and that hasn't happened much in our interior this year.
Yeah, thanks.
Next, we'll go to Greg Auman.
Bruce, as it relates to downfield passing, in terms of receivers getting open, do you think they were open downfield, or is it one of those where once he has kind of the quick clock in his head, it almost doesn't matter as much how open they are downfield?
There were a couple, 2 or 3, that we maybe could have held on to it and thrown it down the field. But in a game like that, knowing the coverage that we're getting, throw it underneath and get on to the next play and make sure we get 5 or 6 and play it that way. Teams want to make us, everybody's trying to take that away. And we know that. So it's going to be hard to get down the field. But, we got 3 shots of man-to-man. We got a touchdown on one of them. So, we don't get much single coverage, that's for sure.
Bruce, and just to clarify, last night you had mentioned that the 2 Brady interceptions were on him and not the receivers. Did he do something wrong on that initial throw to Darden?
No, somebody asked me what the second interception was. All right, not both of them. I didn't consider the first one interception. To me, that's a fumble. And
looked like it.
So I didn't even, in my mind, that wasn't an interception. So the other one was, just a little sailed over Mike's head. But no, I wouldn't consider that first one a pick.
Thanks, Bruce.
Yep.
Next, we'll go to Jenna Lane.
Hey, Coach, we talked yesterday about your frustrations, but I'm curious, going back and watching the tape, maybe what was the most surprising thing of yesterday's game for you?
Them scoring after we scored. When we had momentum in the second half and got it to 3, they scored. We scored, missed an extra point, never got the ball back. So we didn't capitalize with the energy level on defense after we made plays on defense and our offense scored a touchdown. So that was the most disheartening thing for us to have a 10-minute drive against us, and that just can't happen.
And also, Coach, I know that you had said that Sean Murphy-Bunting, he made some progress this past week. He was able to use his arm more. Do you have a better indication of whether or not he might be able to go this week?
Well, I'll know more when I see him on the practice field. We won't practice until Wednesday, and we'll get a better picture of it then.
Thanks.
Next, we'll go to John Romano.
Hey, Bruce, you got a lot of pressure with some blitzes yesterday, but is that almost a double-edged sword in terms of leading the secondary open? Do you need to get more pass rush from the front 4 so you don't have to blitz quite so much?
Yeah, definitely, John. I think, and we had some blitzers coming free. They just didn't get there fast enough to affect the throws. And again, playing more zone than man-to-man, because of who we're playing with, it's going to be a little bit softer back there. So we got to get home when we're blitzing.
Next, we'll go to Scott Reynolds.
Bruce, there was a report about Vita Vea's knee injury not being as severe, that he had a bone bruise and it was a slight MCL sprain. Do you know about how long you'll be without Vita?
No, I just wait and see. And he can bear weight. So, we'll just wait and see if he can play this week or not.
And I was just curious about your demeanor after the game with the players in the locker room. What was the message to the players? Was it one of aggravation and anger? Was it one of, rally the troops? Well, what was your talk about with the team?
I think that those talks are very personal between me and the team, and not for anybody else.
Okay.
Thanks.
Next, we'll go to Joey Knight.
Coach, your tight ends only have 5 last 2 games. Would you like to see them get more involved? Is that a concern for you right now?
I didn't hear the first part, Joey.
Your tight ends only have 5 total catches the last 2 games. Is that a concern? Would you like to see them get more involved?
Not necessarily. For me, it's just, throw who's open. And, the tight end position isn't the most focal point in our offense, but it can be. And when it's the right time.
OJ did not have a target yesterday. Was that a result of what he did the first play of the game?
No, it had nothing to do with it. We had 3 or 4 plays designed for him that they did a good job of covering. And, you can't force the ball to people. And, we're going to force it to anybody. Throw it to Mike and Chris.
We'll go back to Greg Allman.
First, just want to ask about 3rd down. Obviously, Washington had a lot of success moving the chains. A lot of them late were 3rd and short. But just overall, just Heineke's ability to, I think it was 11 conversions, and obviously sustain that last drive very well.
Yeah, I think the big thing, Greg, was 10 of them were 3rd and 1 to 5. So our 1st and 2nd down defense wasn't good enough. If you're getting somebody 10, 3rd and 1 to 5, you're going to get about 60% or 70% completed on you. So, that's the part that was very frustrating, not getting off the field because of 1st and 2nd down.
The other thing I want to ask, obviously the running back split has skewed heavy towards Leonard Fournette already. But for Rojo to play a single snap, was that part of the plan or just the way things shook out?
No, we only had 40 snaps, so there weren't that many to go around. And I was hoping to get him more action for sure, but normally we're up there 65 or 70 snaps, and then they would get them.
Thank you.
Yep.
We'll go back to Rick Stroud.
Bruce, your team's dealing with a lot, right? With these injuries are kicking your butt for one thing, for sure. But look, it's human nature. I mean, are these guys as dialed in? You've won a Super Bowl. Are they as hungry? You talk about energy and not playing with energy. What do you make of the? Is there any sort of, hey, we're good?
Yeah, I think Rick. Yeah, I think when you practice as well as we did last week, I think they assumed they were just going to go out and play good, and that's something we'll address. Just because you have a great week of practice, you got to show up on Sunday. And if everybody played with the passion and energy that Devin played with, we wouldn't have any problems, because he should have been a player of the week with that game that he just had and the way he played the game. We'll use that as an example for everybody else to play with.
Yeah, thanks.
We'll go back to Jenna Lane. We have time for a few more.
Hey, Coach, 2 in a row is not something you guys are accustomed to, but you have a Giants team that's coming in here that gave you a scare last year. I'm curious what your message is going to be to the team this week to get guys refocused and regrouped.
It's just normal, this that week's over. This is a whole new week, and practice as well as we did last week and put all the energy into it, but show up on Monday night with the passion and energy it takes to win in this league.
Do you think your guys lacked that passion yesterday? You mentioned Devin, and we know the kind of heart that he plays with. Do you think some guys might have been lacking in that yesterday?
Totally.
Thank you.
Last question will come from Joey Knight.
Coach, Richard Sherman, God bless him. Did he just try to do too much too soon after you signed him?
No, he was fine. He was fine Thursday and Friday. I thought he was going to have a heck of a ball game. He just strained his calf before the ball game. So don't know how long it'll be.
All right. That's all we have time for. Appreciate taking the time, Coach.
Thanks, guys.